Quess is one of the biggest private employer in India with 5,25,000 people, of which about 1 lakh are women employees. So the problem statement we had was, in this diverse population that we have across the country and 9 other countries, we had an issue of attrition. Our attrition way back in 21-22 was the voluntary attrition was about 36%. And we obviously wanted it to be lesser, maybe between 20 to 25%. But the bigger problem in this attrition was the new hire attrition, or we call it as an infant attrition. And if we further break it down to infant attrition, which was 53% of the overall attrition, we had particularly more challenge in the 0 to 3 months of the tenure. So Nikki came for rescue, and of course Vishal and the team from Umwelt, they worked with us, and they suggested us that we could break this tenure of, let's say, 12 months into intervals. And since our plain area was largely between 0 to 3 months, followed by 3 to 6 months, we broke that whole intervention of Nikki into a 7-day, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day. Right? So the first and foremost, our approach, of course, we wanted to get to the reduced attrition, but first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that we understand our people better. We understand the new hires' challenges and what is leading to that distraction, and which finally culminates into attrition. There were 3 broad metrics that we wanted to measure for our BHRs. One was the connections, how well they are able to connect with the employees, the new hires in that case. How well is the response from the new hires in terms of, how open they are for them to really, answer to a chatbot, because this was the first time we were launching it in Quess. And then, of course, how is the turnaround time? So, for example, I'm a new hire, I've responded, and the business HR has read my response, but how well am I connected, and how well, within what short period, there is a connection from the employee, from the BHR. So that was called as the turnaround time. And of course, by doing so, we wanted to make sure that our connections with the new hires are enhanced, resulting into better motivation, engagement, resulting into a better retention. First and foremost, we realized that almost 80 to 85% of our new hires, really responded to the chatbot. They were very open to talking to them. And our business HRs were also very gung-ho, and they, because they were saving on to the time of collating feedback, presenting it. So now this way, everything was ready-made for them, and they could, straight away work towards quality interactions with the new hires. And then we saw that the new hire attrition for us drastically reduced. So we had 2 groups, one was a control group, one was the experiment group. And the experiment group, which had Nikki, conversing with the people, which was about 75% of the population, had a retention rate of 91%, whereas the control group was about 77%. So this case clearly established to us that, there is a great amount of leverage we are getting out of using Nikki. Not only our people are much open to talk about, but our business HRs are able to connect with them and invest quality time into those conversations and retention discussions, rather than, just collating data and operationally utilizing their time. Our HR BP productivity got drastically enhanced. What used to be about 90 man days of efforts, reduced drastically to 35 man days. So that was on the process part, which of course led to the outcome, like I said, and reduced attrition. Of course, our vision was to enhance this. This was a pilot, and this year onwards, now we have Nikki, talk. She's our chief listening officer, and she interacts with everybody across the organization, top management to the entry-level population. And of course, we are from that 36.2%, we are, as we speak, standing at about 23%, which is no mean feat because we had tried without it for last 4 or 5 years and we weren't making much progress in terms of voluntary attrition. But here you go, we have a clear-cut business case on reduction. And apart from it, my function as HR, I'd like it to be more and more measurable. And what comes with the help of Nikki, my NPS, eNPS, we call it Employee Net Promoter Score, Happiness Index, Engagement Index, the quality of discussions, against feedback against each policies, against each of the business HRs. Ask me for any cuts and I have it. And that all credit to Nikki and the makers of Nikki out here, how beautifully they have designed the bot, how well they have put themselves into the shoe of a CHRO and being able to think through it. So I'm particularly very thrilled. Everybody in our organization knows Nikki, and we are just looking forward to use it more and more and get benefited out of it.